What's up YouTube? Team Megadeath here, back with another video, and today we have a first place Grandis profile by team member Darren. Darren, say hi.
Hi.
So Darren got first place at one of our local tournaments today. Darren's actually been getting first place even before we came back, started performing at local, so he's been doing fairly well with this deck. He knows the deck in and out, definitely has played with a bunch of different ratios, and I feel like this iteration of your deck profile today, Darren, is kind of like peak optimal consistency Grandis play. So without further ado, let's take a look at the eggs.
So for the eggs, it's pretty standard. I run 4 of the BT5 Yokomons. I don't run 5 eggs because ideally you want to see these Yokomons more because they give you the plus 2000 when you Digiburst. So your stat can swing basically over anything.
All right, perfect.
On to the rookies, I run 4 of the BT10 Kuwagamons. These are the Heretic Kuwagamons. They allow you to gain a memory whenever you delete a Digimon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I run 4 of the BT9 Kuwagamon X Antibody. These are the main searcher of your deck. They allow you to add a Sectoid or a machine or an X Antibody option card.
Mm-hmm.
Then lastly, I run 3 of the Terriermons and then 3 of the Pomons. These are just the Floodgate rookies. The Terriermons are good against the Wargrave matches, Bloomlord, and then Melgas sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Pomons are good against the Jesmon matchup and the Bloomlord matchups.
So right here, it looks like you run 14 rookies, right?
Yeah.
So that's typically, I feel like it's a little bit more than the average rookie count. Are you trying to typically open up with the rookie in hand?
Yes, because if I don't open up a rookie with hand, it means that I can't build my stack and then I can't pressure my opponent. So I feel like the 14 rookies are also good because sometimes seeing these are fine. Mm-hmm. Because you can just play them and then it basically stops your opponent, like certain decks, from really taking off. So that gives you time to set up for your find your other rookies to build up to your stack.
All right, perfect.
And then onto the champions, I have 4 of the Weemons. These are the Digiburst Weemons. Whenever you Digiburst, you basically gain a memory. Mm-hmm. And then I run 3 of the champion Stingmons. These are the Hairy Stingmons. Same thing as the Kuwagamon, rookie Kuwagamons. Whenever you delete something once per turn, you gain 1 memory. Mm-hmm. And then these are the I run 3 of the Kabuteri blockers. Self-explanatory. Blockers just basically block. Save one of your security. Mm-hmm. And then I run 2 of the hybrid metal Kabuteri mons.
That's so interesting that most of your champion count, it's all Evo for 1. So this deck mainly tries to turbo from, your rookie into your ultimate fairly quickly because, typically in other decks, the Evo is like cost 2, but Evoing for 1 seems like you're trying to turbo very quickly, right?
Yeah, so it's also good for first turn because you can just leave your opponent 1. Really limited their option of play. And then 1 ideally because these ones I can basically on the same turn I can also evolve, and even if I'm stuck at 1 memory I can evolve into my ultimate and then still continue to basically have a level 5 waiting in the back.
Okay, and I see that you run the Metal Kabuterimon. Is there a reason why you prefer that hybrid over, Beetlemon or Arbomon?
I prefer this hybrid is because I see a lot of people run the Arbomon because it's a lot cheaper to evolve on a rookie. It's a 2 cost, but this is a 3 cost. But I run this one because it can also evolve on a 4 for 1, which is fairly cheap. So it also helps you manipulate your opponent's memory, and then it also gives you another source for Digiburst as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Digiburst for Grandiskuwagamon, right?
Yeah.
And we should definitely be showing that later. Okay, for sure. So that's your champion lineup.
To the ultimates, I run 4 of the promo Kuwamons. These are standard. I think these are probably the best. This is probably the best card in the deck. It has inheritable, the piercing inheritable, so you basically can delete their Digimon while checking their security as well. And then it also has an effect where whenever your opponent suspends a Digimon, you basically lose a memory. So it's a really good card. It also gets around. A lot of people don't know that this card gets around memory floodgate rookies because the rookies only prevent you from gaining, but this card is saying you're not gaining memory, your opponent is losing memory, so it helps to get around that.
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I run one of the BT1 Akuamon that has a heritable. It's not once per turn like Stingmon and the rookie Kuwagamon, where when you delete Digimon, you gain 1 memory. And then I run 4 of the Akuamon X Antibody. So this card is whenever you Digivolve, you can suspend opponent's Digimon, and then you can pair it up with this because your opponent would just lose a memory unless you extend your play.
A lot of like decks you like to play 8 ultimates. You run the 9 ultimates. I've noticed a pattern that for each level, so level 3s you run 14, which is typically more. You know, your level 4s you run I think 12, which is typically a little bit more, and then here you run 9, which is typically a little bit more. So it looks like that you're like just upping the ratio counts just so that you can always have it in hand. Do you think that's a very true statement?
I think it's true because in this deck, it's OTK based, so you basically want to swing for all your opponent's security and then basically swing for game. So I really want to see my Digimons. A lot of people can opt to not play this and play an option card, or play another option card. I ideally don't really like it. I think it's kill or be killed. So, and some people will tech in a Grandis, but I feel like in this meta, seeing some option cards in hand feel really bad because you're basically losing out 1 card where you can basically build it into a stack. Then onto the Megas, I run 4 of the promo Grandiskuwagamons. These are just Digiburst 2 Grandiskuwagamons, and you gain a set check 1. And then I have the BT9 Grandiskuwagamon. This is the boss monster in the OTK of the deck. So basically you can evolve on top of the promo Grandiskuwagamon and you can gain all the security plus inheritables, and then you can swing for ideally 16, but then plus the Yokomon 18k, which basically swings over any Digimon in the game. And then it has an end of turn effect. When it finishes 1 attack, you can unsuspend this and suspend one of your opponent's Digimon.
I see. Do you think that it's like mandatory that you have the Grandis? Because I've seen some plays where you typically raise your Grand and then you swing with the Grand because you don't have the Grandis. So how important is it that you have one or the other or both?
It's fine sometimes promoting the Grandiskuwagamon because you can still get your set checks off and then just help me cycle through, because sometimes I don't see it, but then I can just build into another stack and then possibly build a better stack with the Grand and then the Grandis. But ideally sometimes you don't really want to evolve this on top of a level 5 without the Grand because the end of the turn effect doesn't go off, so then later you can't really unsuspend. So it's basically a really expensive mega just really sitting there for 1 swing. For tamers, I run 3 of the Mimis. I run 3 Mimis so that I can see it more often, because these are what can help me turbo into building an ideal stack sometimes. Sometimes I'm not seeing the right pieces, so I can promote my ultimates more, and then I can just tap the Mimi to rebuild another stack in the back.
So are you saying that like, so typically like if you open up with like, let's say a bad hand and you're building like not an ideal stack, you'll just bring it out, and let's say you have a Mimi, you could just, you know, tap the Mimi to build another stack that's more ideal?
Yeah, for sure. And then this also helps the OTK sometimes, because for Grandis, you would require another rookie on the board to help you swing for OTK most of the time. So then later, Mimi can help me rebuild. When I have the Grandiskuwagamon out, I can just tap. If I have 2 Mimis, I can just tap both Mimis and bring out a rookie, and then ideally swing with the Grandis for all the checks, and then finish the game off with the rookie.
Okay.
Yeah. And then lastly, for options, I run 3 of the green memory boosts. Pretty standard. They're your other searchers besides the rookie Kuwagamon X Antibody. And then sometimes if you have a Mimi and you have the green memory boost, you will only need 3 memory to work with most of the time if you have your level 5 already built up in a stack. Yeah. Then lastly, not a lot of people run it, but I run the 1 of X Antibody option card. I tech this in this week because when I was playtesting it, sometimes I don't see these two pieces. So later, and I have this, well, I don't have the promo Grand with the X antibody. It allows me to slide it under my ultimate swing, and then allows me to go into the Grandis, and then basically his effect will still go off while I unsuspend and then suspend the opponent's Digimon, and then if I have like the Stingmon or the BT1 or Kuwamon, I can basically gain the memory back from deleting the Digimon from Grandis. Yeah.
And it'll take you back to your turn.
Yes, yeah. And then they'll unsuspend and then slowly chip away from the opponent.
I see. Yeah. Okay, cool, man. So let's talk about your local run today. So can you go over some of the matchups that you had today, how those matchups went out for you?
So in the locals today, there was 4 rounds. I played against Kazuchimon, Jesmon, Dragon Links, and in the finals I played against Melga. I felt like the most difficult match today was probably the Dragon Links, because there's really no way I can counter the Metallic Dramon, because once that card's out or he just hard slams it, it really delays my plays, because I can only evolve on top of a suspended Digimons, and then if it's unsuspended, I can't really go into my OTK play, so it basically just delays me for a turn while they're basically checking all my security.
Can you talk about the Melga and the Jesmon matchup? I know those two decks are considered higher tier, top tier even, so can you explain how those matchups went?
The Melga matchup, it was I got pretty lucky because one of the games they hit a Mimi, and then allowed me, they set my memory at 3, and then I already had a stack built at the bottom, so then I can basically Digiburst and swing for all the security, and then I can hybrid for game. And then the Melga matchup, I felt like sometimes you can just wait for them to bring the Melga out, and then since you already have 2 swings, and most of the time Melga only has 2 protection layers, you can, or sometimes 1, you can basically just clear the Melga, and then you basically get the tempo, because if you have the Mimi out, you can just rebuild another stack in the back. And then the Jesmon matchup, the rookie Pomomon that doesn't allow the player to play anything from effects. That card, as long as you have that card in hand, you can just hard slam that. It really stops Jesmon from playing the game at all. So.
All right, for sure, man. Well, thank you so much, guys, for watching Darren's first place Grandiskuwagamon deck profile. That's going to be it for today's video. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. But other than that, stay tuned for more upcoming videos. And Team Megadeath out. Bounce.